There's this crazy place that I went to when I was in Denver, Colorado, and it's this artistic museum immersion experience that if you're like me and you were raised with a creative gene, you have to go. Now, let me explain what exactly it is. Meow Wolf is this art installation thing that started in Santa Fe by a collective of artists. It's hard to explain. I didn't know what to expect when my boyfriend brought me here, but he insisted that we check it out.
We're going to Meow Wolf.
What is it?
It's like an art installation, mystery, funhouse, Alice in Wonderland type thing.
You go to this building, and on the outside, you can tell that there's something going on inside, but you have no idea until you actually step foot inside what you're gonna get. And I remember we walked in and I noticed a lot of people, a lot of children, but people of all shapes and sizes and demographics. And they checked us in, and the first thing we did was climb a bunch of flights of stairs to the very top of this building. But so you're starting in a stairwell. That's nothing special. You're climbing to the top, and then you enter the art exhibit. And you basically, from the top floor to the bottom floor of the building, you descend kind of gradually in different weird tunnels and stairwells and climbing down. You descend through different vibes. That's the best way to describe it, of just rooms that are just different energies on their own. And what I loved about this is that as a sober person, it kind of felt like the similar feeling you would imagine one would have if you were on some kind of a substance, because you're just kind of riding the waves of the energy of whatever room you're in. And oddly, this reminded me of growing up, because my mother was this animator, painter, writer, human who used to paint all over the entire upstairs of my house, the farmhouse that I grew up in, where she would just paint these murals that was like outdoors, and there's trees and there's flowers, and so it kind of reminded me of that, because it's this blend of nature and fantasy, and all of these like installations are different, and they're done by different kinds of artists. And so one minute you're in like a fairy tale forest, and then there's a piano on the ceiling playing a song. That's actually kind of cool. I remember I was standing in this one room and there was like a piano just automatically playing some music, and I was kind of getting into it. And then you walk into another room and there's like these mice creatures like dueling, and then there's a laundromat, but everything in these little scenes are in different languages that aren't even like any kind of human language. It looks like aliens speak. It feels kind of like either the very distant past or the very far in the future of like some kind of a weird post-apocalyptic Earth. And what I loved about it was that you just didn't know what you were gonna get. And then because of the nature of it being an immersive experience, you're just like interacting with the art. It's not just like when you go to a museum and you see a piece of art on a wall in a room. You're like in it, and you're taking photos in it, and there's like projections and there's mirrors, and you're getting lost in a maze, and you're climbing through a staircase that doesn't quite make sense because it's crooked. And I loved that. I loved everything about it. And it was especially fun being there with my boyfriend, because he had been to a Meow Wolf before, the original one in Santa Fe. And so he was watching my reactions like, yeah, isn't this interesting? I felt like it was such a cool way to just take yourself out of yourself and think about things a little bit differently. And it was also quite chaotic. Like, I kind of loved that you weren't totally sure if it was scary or if it was safe. Like, you kind of didn't know what you were gonna get. And I also liked that it was very kid friendly. It wasn't just a place for adults. Like, kids were having fun interacting with the surroundings as well. And yeah, it was such an incredible experience for someone like me, who already considers myself a very creative person, and having that like in my blood from my parents, being somewhere that reminded me of my childhood in a weird way. So yeah, Meow Wolf was a really fascinating place to visit in Denver, Colorado. I definitely encourage you guys to check it out. Thanks so much for tuning in to this little anecdote or a review of what it was like going to Meow Wolf, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I have all kinds of content. I talk a lot about training, about my past life, about getting sober, all kinds of stuff. So thanks so much. And until next time, just be fast. Just win.